and here and here देखो Jackson Gabriel Gabriel here. Okay, I will move on to the next chapter. It is acids and bases. What is an acid?
Chemical with a pH lower than 7.
Arrhenius definition. Arrhenius definition. There are three definitions. One set of definitions from Professor Arrhenius. The second set from Bronsted and Lowry. And the final one is from Lewis definition. Lewis, Bronsted, and Arrhenius. This is the earliest definition of an acid. An acid is a substance which produces protons or proton when dissolved in water. That is the simplest definition. So any substance when you drop that into water, if it produces proton, one proton, two protons, three protons, whatever it is, then we call that as an acid. Okay. Example, if you take hydrochloric acid, when you dissolve this in water, it produces protons like this. When you take nitric acid, when you dissolve this in water, again it produces protons and 1 3 minus 3. If you take sulfuric acid, when you dissolve this in water, it produces protons. Sulfate. When you dissolve phosphoric acid in water, it produces protons. 3 minus. That is the simplest definition. Anything that produces protons in water, they are acids. What is a base? According to Arrhenius, a base is a substance which produces OH minus ions, hydroxyl ion. For example, if you take sodium hydroxide and you dissolve this in water, it produces OH minus AQ plus. You know the meaning of AQ, correct? Aqueous. If you take potassium hydroxide and you dissolve this in water, it produces hydroxide ion plus potassium. If you take calcium hydroxide and you dissolve this in water, it produces OH minus calcium plus. If you take ammonium hydroxide and you dissolve this in water, it produces OH minus and some okay. Now, when you react an acid and with a base. You have studied all this in general chemistry 1. You call that as what? Acid base reaction. Acid base reaction. You can also call this as neutralization reaction. Acid base reactions are also called what? Neutralization reactions. So the next question is, no doubt according to Arrhenius, an acid gives protons in water. Or these protons stay in water as H plus, or something new happens to them. Okay. Now, this is the structure of water. Correct? This is the structure of water. Oxygen has always 2 lone pair of electrons sitting there. You know, in order to form a bond, you need 2 electrons, correct? In order to form a covalent bond, you need 2 electrons. Now, an acid will always produce, when you drop acid into water, it produces what? H plus, correct? Right? That's the acid. So this H plus proton is not stable in water just like that. You know what happens? Immediately, one of the lone pairs will attack this proton. This is electron rich and this is electron deficient. It forms what we call there will be only one lone pair of electrons. This press we are going to write like this. And what is this called? H3O plus. And this is called hydronium ion. This is called what? Hydronium ion. So whenever protons are released in water, immediately those protons will be captured by water molecule to convert that H plus into H3O plus. And that is the true form of protons in water, hydronium ions. So here afterwards, we can, instead of calling H plus for protons, we are going to call that as what? Hydronium. So whenever an acid is dissolved in water, the first thing is protons will be produced, and those produced protons will be immediately converted into hydronium ions. Okay. Now, this is according to Arrhenius definition. This is not the right definition. This Arrhenius definition is applicable only for compounds which have hydrogens in them. HCl, H2SO4, HNO3. Wherever hydrogens are there, protons are there, the definition is only applicable for these compounds. But there are millions of chemicals, they are still acids which they do not contain any protons. You understand? Therefore, the definition proposed by Arrhenius is not a universal definition. It has its own limitation. So then the other definition is Bronsted and Lowry. According to these two scientists, an acid is a proton donor. An acid is what? A proton donor, according to Arrhenius. And what is a base? A base is proton acceptor. Okay, a base is a proton acceptor, an acid is a proton donor. A compound can, a substance can behave like an acid only in the presence of a base. Just like that, if somebody donates money, there should be somebody else to take it, right? Otherwise, there is no meaning in that, right? So you may give $1 million, there should be somebody to accept it. Therefore, a compound will behave like an acid, it readily give the protons if something else is ready to take it. So therefore, a compound will be acting like an acid only in the presence of a base. So based on that, I am going to write an equation. Suppose we take an acid like HA, general, A it would be HCl, HPS, anything it is, H3. And this I am going to react this with what? Water. Okay? HA is aqueous, H2O is a liquid. Then you know in general chemistry 1 there are two types of acids and two types of bases, strong acids and weak acids. Similarly, strong bases and weak bases. What do you mean by a strong acid? Any acid which undergoes 100% ionization. So if you drop acid into water, it should split 100% into H plus and Ni, H plus and Cl minus, H plus and NO3 minus, 100%. 100% ionization is always indicated by one arrow mark, correct? All strong compounds, strong electrolytes, strong bases, say HCl, I am going to write like this. HCl plus water, I will write only one arrow mark like this. So this is going to be what? H3O plus AQ plus Cl minus AQ. This is, if you take 1 mole of this, you will get 1 mole of hydronium ion. Isn't it? No. What is this Cl minus coming from? Yeah, that's right. That is for a strong acid. Strong base also one-sided arrow mark, split 100%. If it is a weak acid, only partial ionization. The partial ionizations are always indicated by two-sided arrow mark. Okay, reversible arrow mark. And you call this as H3O plus AQ plus A minus. Okay, now tell me, if you look at this equation, there are two reactants, two chemicals, right? One chemical loses the proton, another chemical gains the proton. Anything that gains a proton is a base. Anything that gives a proton is what? An acid. Now tell me, which one is donating the proton and which one accepts the proton? This gives the proton, it loses the proton, and therefore it has A minus. And this is the one which gains the proton. So therefore, anything that gains the proton is what? A base. And anything that loses the proton is what? An acid. Got right? Now, read the reaction from right to left. Now we have read from left to right. Based on that, we noted this as an acid and a base. If you read from that, which is the one which donates the proton, loses the proton? This is the one, correct? Right? Anything that donates the proton is an acid. So now to distinguish this acid from this acid, I am going to call this as conjugate acid. We call this as what? Conjugate acid, and this is going to be conjugate base. Okay? One is conjugate acid, another is conjugate base. You got my point? Now, this conjugate acid and the base, this is a couple. H2O slash H3O plus. One couple. They differ by how much? One proton, right? There is a difference between these two by a proton. Similarly, you have another couple, HA over what? A minus. Correct? They also differ by what? A proton. Understand the point? So now a pair of chemicals, they differ always by a proton. This is one pair, this is another pair. Understand the point? So based on that, say this is one pair which I have written, and this is another pair. Agreed? Right? And now this pair and this pair, they are called conjugate acid base pair. This is also conjugate acid base pair. You must find hundreds of examples for this. Okay? To find conjugate acid base pair. Understand my point? For example, so this is your bicarbonate ion. Understand my point? What is its conjugate base could be? So this can lose a proton, correct? This could, if you treat this with water, for example, and this is going to be CO3 2 minus plus H3O plus. Agreed? So now you have a pair. What is this pair? This is bicarbonate ion slash what? Carbonate ion. What is the difference between these two? A proton. Similarly, you have H2O over what?
H3O.
H3O plus. This is another pair. And they are all called what? Conjugate acid base pairs. You get my point? Now I will write another example. We consider this a specific example like hydrofluoric acid plus water. So you're going to get hydronium ion plus fluoride ion. Agreed? So the conjugate acid base are what? HF over F minus and H2O over H3O plus. They are conjugate acid base pair. We call this as an acid, correct?
Yes.
You can say whenever you see a reversible reaction, this acid is considered as a weak acid, correct?
Yes.
So this is a weak acid. Now, I am going to write another reaction. Ammonia plus water. So you are going to write like this. NH4 plus AQ, ammonium ion, and OH minus ion.
Base.
Okay. Now tell me, read the reaction from left to right. Which one gains the proton and another which one loses the proton? Water is the one which loses the proton. Anything that loses the proton is what? Acid. Ammonia gains the proton, correct? Anything that gains the proton is what? A base. And if you read the reaction from right to left, this is the one which loses the proton, which is called what? conjugate acid, and this is the one which gains the proton to form water. We call conjugate base. Okay, I draw your attention here. When you treat a weak acid with water, this behaves like what? Water behaves like what?
The
A
base.
base, correct? When you mix a weak acid and water, water behaves like a base. And now ammonia is a base. When you mix water with a base instead of acid, it's a weak base. Now tell me, water behaves like an acid, correct? There it behaves like a base. Now it behaves like an acid. That means it depends on the experimental conditions. So water can behave both. It can act like an acid and also it can act like what?
A base.
A base. So any chemical in general, if a chemical behaves both like an acid and a base. Now water is the substance which behaves like an acid as well as a base, correct? So on the top it behaves like a base. Here in the bottom it behaves like an acid. So water, therefore it is called an amphoteric substance. An amphoteric substance. Okay. Now, what I do is, so we are very lightly, call, okay, it's a weak acid, it's a weak base, it's a strong acid, a strong base. What is the proof? What is the basis for us to say something is strong and say something is weak? Okay? That is what we call the strength of the acids. Strong acid is weak acid, strong base, weak base. That's what we talk, he is very strong. I am very strong or weak. This strength can be decided not, simply. There should be a basis, isn't it? So that basis depends on the extent of ionization. Now you know the acids and bases, they are just electrolytes, ionic compounds. All ionic compounds, when they are dissolved in water, they undergo ionization, correct? So to what extent they undergo ionization, that decides strong or weak. A 100% ionization, strong. Partial ionization, weak, correct? So now I am going to come out with a mathematical quantity to decide whether an acid is strong or weak or base is strong or weak. So now I am going to consider this. I am going to consider a weak acid like a general acid like HA, and I am going to treat this with water, and I am going to write a reversible arrow mark, and you are going to write this as what? X3O plus AP plus A minus C. You already know this is a conjugate base, this is a conjugate acid, this is a base, that is an acid, correct? Is this a reversible reaction?
Yes.
So you can apply law of mass action under chemical equilibrium chapter. For all reversible reactions, we can apply the law of mass action to determine the equilibrium constant, correct? There we called Kc and also Kp. Here for the time being, I am not going to say Kc or Kp, I will just put it as K. So now if you apply the law of mass action, so now I am going to put K. So you already tried very well, right? The products come in the numerator and the reactants come in the denominator, correct? So now K equals the molar concentration of hydronium ion times the molar concentration of the anion divided by the molar concentration of the weak acid. You remember, because it is a pure liquids and solids, they don't appear, correct, in the law of mass action. So now this is an acid, correct? Right? Acid. Do you think this acid undergoes ionization? This acid undergoes ionization, right?
Yes, sir.
And therefore this K, which is an equilibrium constant, is specially called, I'm going to Ka, I'm going to give the label A subscript Ka, which is an equilibrium constant, but we do not call that as an equilibrium constant. Instead, we call acid ionization constant. This letter A means acid, and Ka is what? Acid ionization constant. Okay? So now, with the help of this Ka value, we can say whether it is a strong acid or a weak acid. Higher the value of Ka, larger the value of Ka, stronger the acid. Smaller the value of Ka, this Ka is also called acid dissociation constant, acid ionization constant. Is all the same. Okay? Acid ionization constant or acid what?
Dissociation constant.
Dissociation constant. If the Ka value is large, close your eyes and say it is a strong acid. If the Ka value is very, very low, you say it is a very, very weak acid. Got my point? So take the negative logarithm for this. If you take the negative log of Ka, you know very well, negative log of hydronium ion concentration. You can also write this as negative log of proton concentration. We call this as pH. pH is a measure of what? The acidity, the acid acidity or the basicity of the chemical. It is a measure of acidity or basicity. So now when you call log minus log of H plus or this as pH, similar to that, negative log of Ka, can I call this as pKa? Can I call on that basis? See here, negative log H3O plus is pH. Negative log of Ka is pKa. Now, if the Ka value is large, if you take the negative log of that, do you think the pKa value will be very minimum? They are opposite, right? Mathematically. If the measured value Ka value is larger, and if you take the negative log of that number, it becomes very, very small. So higher the Ka value, smaller the pKa value, strong acids. You got me? So then, smaller the Ka value, bigger the pKa value, larger the pKa value, they're what? Opposite of that. Okay, now, this is for acid dissociation. Similarly, we can expect base dissociation, correct? If you take a base, so base, I'm going to consider a weak base as ammonia, and again water, so reversible arrow mark. Like I said, ammonium ion plus hydroxide ion. So now apply the law of mass action K. The molar concentration of ammonium ion times the molar concentration of hydroxide ion divided by molar concentration of ammonia, because water does not appear in this equation, correct? And therefore, because it is a base, I am going to call this as what?
KB.
KB. B stands for the base. So therefore, what is it called? Base ionization constant. Base ionization constant. You can also call base dissociation constant. So based on the value of Kb, you can decide whether it is a strong base or a weak base. When once you have this Kb, similarly you can take negative logarithm to that. It becomes, here it becomes pKa. Here it becomes what? pKb. pKa and pKb. Normally, in chemistry, higher level of chemistry, like organic chemistry, the strength of the acids and the strength of the bases will be decided on the basis of, they don't go in terms of Ka, they always go in terms of pKa, pKb, instead of Ka and Ka. Okay? Now, what is the relationship between Ka and Kb? That's what I am going to write. The relationship between what?
Ka and
Ka and Kb. Ka and Kb. What I do is, I will take a weak acid like acetic acid. This is, you must know this. CH3COOH is what? Acetic acid. And if you treat this with what? Water. Again, it's a reversible aroma. So the conjugate base is going to be acetate anion plus hydronium. Ready? So now apply the law of mass action. Ka. Ka equals what? The molar concentration of acetate anion times the molar concentration of hydronium ion over the molar concentration of acetic acid. Water does not appear here, correct? Now, this is a conjugate base, correct? Right? This is the conjugate base. This is the conjugate acid. And this is a weak acid. And water is the base. Now I am going to take this base CH3 CO minus Aq plus water L. Then what happens here? Water behaves like an acid. Acetate ion behaves like a base, it accepts the proton. Thereby it becomes what? CH3 COOH plus OH minus. So now apply the law of mass action. Kb equals CH3 COOH concentration times hydroxide ion concentration over CH3 COO minus the conjugate concentration, because water does not appear here. So now you have Ka, this is Ka and this is Kb, correct? Right? I will multiply Ka and Kb. Ka and Kb. So can I write, watch me, can I write in place of Ka this component? In place of Kb, can I write this? So now I am going to write CH3 CO minus concentration times hydronium ion concentration over CH3 COOH, that is for Ka, and for Kb CH3 COOH concentration times what? OH minus concentration over CH3 COO minus concentrate. So can you cancel out something here? Can you cancel out something here to here?
Yes.
Say acetic acid. So these two cancel out, correct? Yeah. Okay. So acetic acid here, acetic acid they cancel out. Acetate ion, acid they cancel out. You will be left with what? Ka times Kb equals what?
H3O plus times
H3O
OH.
hydronium ion concentration times what? Hydroxide ion concentration, correct? Right? And this is always a constant. This 2, it is a constant which is equal to 10 to the power of negative 14, which we call Kw. The product of the molar concentration of the proton, hydronium ion, times the molar concentration of the hydroxide ion, which is always a constant, which is how much? 10 to the negative 14. And that constant quantity we call that as Kw. Therefore, Kw is called ionic product of water. Ionic product of what?
Water.
Water, which is always constant, like I said, how much?
10 to the negative 14th.
Okay. Now, you can work out 1 million problems using this. It's 10 to the power of negative 14. If I give you the concentration of hydronium ion or proton concentration, can you calculate OH? Or if I give you OH minus concentration, can you calculate this? Right? Very easy. And you will be given many more problems in your examinations based on this. Okay? So now, so this is ionic product of water. Ka and Kb is called what? Kw. Right? Ka and Kb is called what?
KW.
You have to remember this. Ka and Kb because Kw, which is equal to what?
10 to the negative 14th.
Understand my point? Now what I do is, I am going to take logarithm on this. It is 10 to the power of negative 14. So take log on both sides. Log on both sides means right side and the left side, okay? Are you following this? If you take the logarithm, then this becomes logarithm of Ka and Kb on the left side, and that is going to be logarithm of 10 to the power of negative 14, correct, on the right side. You know the logarithm formula, right? I have taught in general chemical kinetics. If you multiply two quantities, the log two quantities, so log of A and B equals what? Log A plus what? Log B, you know this, correct? I will apply that rule here. Log of Kb equals what? Log of Ka plus what?
Log KB.
Log of Kb. Here, you also know log of x to the power of m is another formula, is going to be m log x, correct?
Yes.
You know this formula also. I apply this here. So in place of m, we have negative 14 log 10. Okay. So now this is going to be log Ka plus log Kb. Can I, what is log 10? 1, correct. So this becomes 1 means that becomes only 14. Okay. Now what I do is I am going to take the log, I will multiply this entire equation with -1 minus 1, the whole thing. This becomes what? Negative log Ka, and that becomes what? Log Kb. It is minus becomes plus 14, correct? Right? You already know what is negative logarithm of Ka? Huh? Negative logarithm of K is pk, right? And negative logarithm of Kb is what? pkb, which is equal to what? And this is very important. If I give you pka,
PKB.
can you calculate the pkb? And if I give you pkb, can you calculate pka?
Yep.
Okay. So now, this is all the basic information what you need. These are all the building blocks. Now what I do is, what is pH? pH means always lowercase and capital H, pH. pH is what? It is a measure of acidity or what? Basicity of a solution. It is a measure of what?
Acidity or basicity.
How acidic a solution is or how basic a solution is. It's a very important component. So mathematically, pH equals, you already know, negative logarithm of proton concentration. You know very well, in reality, protons are not free in the solution, correct, in water, because they always appear as what? How does it appear? Log of hydronium ion, right? H plus will not be stable there. It will immediately be converted into H3O plus. So that is the definition. Correct? So if you know the proton concentration or hydronium ion concentration, can you calculate the pH?
Yes.
For example, if you take 1 molar HCl, 1 molar hydrochloric acid, that is, you have dissolved in water, okay? HCl, you know, it is a strong acid, correct? HCl plus H2O, one-sided arrow mark, you will get hydronium ion plus Cl minus ion, okay?
Yes.
If this is 1 molar, that is also going to be what? 1 molar. Chloride ion is also 1 molar. Great. And a reaction stoichiometric ratio. Now, what is the pH of 1 molar HCl? So, what is the pH of 1 molar? 1 molar HCl will have what concentration of hydronium ion? 1 molar, right? So, this is going to be, this is how you are going to write. Therefore, that is going to be negative log of what is the hydronium ion concentration? 1. What is negative log of 1?
0.
0, correct?
Yeah.
So, what is the pH of 1 molar hydrochloric acid solution?
0.
0. You got it? Now, if we take 0.1 molar HCl, for example, So you are taking 0.1 molar. This is also going to be 0.1 molar. And that is also going to be 0.1 molar, correct? So now what is the pH of 0.1 molar HCl? Negative log of 0.1. Negative log of 0.1 is how much? You should pull out your calculators and start working immediately. Negative log of 0.1 is what? 1.
Yeah.
The pH of the solution is what?
1.
0.1 molar HCl is 1. Suppose you take 0.001 molar HCl and this is going to be 0.001 molar. What is the pH of 0.001 molar HCl? Negative log of 0.001.
3.
How much?
3.
Like that. Okay? You need to practice more and more and more. Next. So this is how you are going to calculate. And this formula pH equals negative logarithm of hydronium ion concentration is applicable only for strong acids and strong bases. You understand? So weak acids, they do not undergo 100% ionization. And you don't know how much of it is undergone oxidation. So in order to calculate the pH of a solution, you are supposed to know exactly the exact concentration of hydronium. So weak acids you cannot determine very accurately looking at the concentration. If you take 1 molar a weak acid like hydrofluoric acid in water, how much of it is hydronium ion there? You don't know. So that's the most complex issue. And you know very well, anything that we don't know, we always start with X, correct? Remember, this is again, we are going to use all chemical equilibrium chapter things here. Okay? Now, similarly, if I give you the hydronium ion concentration, you can calculate the pH using the formula pH equals negative logarithm of hydronium ion concentration, correct? If I give you pH, can you calculate the hydronium ion concentration?
Yes.
Huh? How? Huh? I'm going to give you, calculate the hydronium ion concentration of an acid whose pH is 2. pH value is 2. What is the hydronium ion concentration? So the hydronium ion concentration equals okay, 10 to the power of negative pH. This is exponential, I mean, understand my point? pH equals negative log of hydronium ion concentration. And hydronium ion concentration, you are going to find anti-log. Best thing is, okay, now tell me, 10 to the power of negative 2, how much is that?
0, 1.
10 to the power of negative 2 molarity, correct? Right? If I give you 2.5, pH 2.5, then what is the hydronium ion concentration is going to be? Correct? And you can look in your calculator, your exponential of that, how much is going to be. So that's, and that is how you are going to do that. Next thing is, how can we measure the pH of a, in the basic, you know pH always, the pH is from, it has a range from 0 pH to what? 14. 0 to less than 7, pH 7, and pH 7 to 14, this is called what? 0, anywhere between 0 and less than 7, we call this as what?
Acid.
Acidic. and this is what?
Base, or neutral,
Neutral, and this we call what?
base.
Basic. So now, can we calculate the pH of a base? The answer is yes. If I give you 1 molar sodium hydroxide, can you calculate the pH? You cannot directly calculate. Okay, pH is connected to hydronium ion only. In the base, time is up. Okay, you have other classes or what?
Mhm.
Okay, give me the test, okay? I think you gave me test.
Sir.
So what is your name? Gavin?
Yes, sir.
Please put the test.